What's going on, everybody? This your boy Miquiel. I'm back. I'm in Sugar Hill. Look, hooping. So today's episode is a question that I get all the time. Why am I the hip hop evangelist? So let me give you a few of my highlights. Let me flip my card over. So first off, let's start with who I am. Miquiel Banks. I'm a co-founder of ATL Hip Hop Culture, specifically in the SWATS, Southwest Atlanta. So, as I told you on previous episodes, it was about Rainbow Arcade, it was about Greenbrier Mall, and it was about Jelly Bean Skating Ring. Those are the early days of hip hop in the SWATS. So now, let's talk about first. Was I the first breaker in the SWATS? Maybe. I do know Broken Arms and Cricket Legs, they are before me. So if you want to know more about what was life before me, you got to go interview those cats. Now, as a breaker in the SWATS, P. Mooney was the first person in Kings Ridge to learn how to do the windmill. So I think his real name is Kevin Boyd. Not sure. Long time ago. But I was the first breaker in the SWATS that I know of to master a move that I call the 1990. The 1990, back then, Lee did it in Beat Street. Not the episode, but that scene where he went to the dance studio. What happens, you jump up on one hand, on two hands, and then you spin around like that. That's the 1990. I was the first person that I know of in the SWATS to do the 1990. I was not really a head spin guy. I think his name was Marquise or Marcus. He was the younger brother of DJ Chauncey. He is the only person I know that mastered the head spin, and he was a breaker from Jelly Beans. He's the only one I know master. He probably could do 200 or 300 head spins, so he mastered it. I was the first one to do the 1990. I actually came up with a move called the elevator when I was a break dancer. And an elevator is basically after you do your up rock and do your, whatever you're trying to do, your little routine prep. An elevator is because you go up and down. So you start off with a backspin, you go into a windmill, you go up into a head spin, you go back into a windmill and down into a backspin and freeze. That's the elevator. I was the first person to come up with that. The next move that I was the first to come up with was called the hand hop, and it was an accident. So we were having a battle at Rainbow Arcade, and unfortunately, I was the master of the hand spin. So when I was about to do a hand spin, I realized, I looked down, I couldn't do it. I didn't have my gear. So out of invention, pushed into, so when it was my turn, I went out there, I was like, oh my God, I don't have it. So I jumped down and I started doing a hand hop because I couldn't spin. So I was on my hand, hopping around. So I was the first person to come up with that. It was by accident, but I was first. Now, let's go to the next one. Rapping. As a rapper, I don't know if I was the first person to write a song. I would say no. I would say the first person to write a song in the SWATS would be Raheem and Kool-Aid. They wrote a song because it's awesome, and that's what they did when they were at Therrell High School talent shows, and bruh, cause it's awesome. Y'all, you had to be there. Yeah, man, Raheem and Kool, ooh, straight serious, you hear me? They were first that I know of. There may have been someone, but that I know of, they were first. And as a result, many people always ask me, like, who's my favorite rapper? And who's the best? Because I was mentored by Kool. For me, Kool is the ultimate package. So a lot of you are obsessed with Dre 3000 and Outkast. And to me, Kool had that kind of type of parliament, type of dungeon type of flavor, but man, Kool was everything. Kool is a rapper, singer, He was a master of the MPC 3000. It could be argued that Cool actually, what we call crunk, that type of, that type of style that the Yin Yang Twins and all these people did, Cool actually probably did it first. He was the master on the MPC 3000. He had a black one, limited edition. And that's cool, man. Raheem, great rapper too. Please don't disrespect Raheem. Now, as far as the first, wasn't the first rapper. I think I wrote my first song, I want to say 83 or 80, 82, 83 maybe. I was messing around with branding because I was a kid. I was like, hey man, why hasn't anyone made a rap song about a company? So I wrote a song called Coca-Cola. And this is around the same time that Run DMC came out with My Adidas by Peter Piper. So it's that time frame. After that, my first official song was Me and My Mic Come Bound So Right. That was my first song. So now, okay, we got breaking, rapping. I was not the first graffiti artist. My partner, Avery Blanton, you know him as the Black Man. We had a rap group. We were supposed to, so Cool and Raheem was first, and after they broke up, me and Lee was next. So it was Miquiel and Lee. We used to finish each other's sentences like Run DMC did in Crush Groove at the table with She Lee. We used to do that all the time on the bus. So unfortunately, I left, and I went in the military, so, Lee kept rapping, and he left his name Lee, and he became what we know of as the Black Man. I don't know the circumstances, but I think Lee was supposed to be in the Hard Boys with Cooley C, because he used to hang out with them over at the Lost Park, the one by Ben Hill. You have to talk to Cooley C, but I think Lee's supposed to be in the Hard Boys. Not sure why it didn't happen. He did do a song with DJ Stan though, and it's on YouTube. So DJ Stan is currently doing some type of, I think he has a show on Fridays with DL Hughley, so that's what he's doing. By the way, DJ Stan, me and Cool did the first mixtape in the SWATS at Kings Ridge. It was in DJ Stan's apartment. It was done in one take. I got the recording. I posted on YouTube so you can listen to it. So we got that. I was not the first graffiti artist. I'll give you my story. So me and Lee were doing graffiti together. So Lee was like, hey man, let's go do graffiti. And he was like, so we decided we was gonna do a tag behind Kmart, which was next to Rainbow Arcade, which was across the street from Greenbrier Mall. Mind you people, this is down the street. If you go that way, you got Christian Academy. That's where Dwight Howard played basketball. But if you keep going, that's the Dungeon family. That's their little area. So something in my mind, in my spirit said, don't go. So Lee went. He did the tags. And so the next day I went by his house. I'm like, Lee, what's up, man? He wasn't there. Talked to his mother. Come to find out, Lee got locked up for doing graffiti. So after I heard that, I ditched doing graffiti with the spray paint cans. I got me a pad. I'm not going to jail for y'all, shout. No, sir. So that's how I got started doing graffiti on paper with markers. Was I the first beatboxer in the SWATs? I would say yes. I was beatboxing. I was excellent as a beatboxer. In fact, that's how I got started, because when Cool heard me beatbox, me and Cool actually did a show at the King Ridge pool in the summer. I want to say it was 84, 85, but we did a show at the pool in Kings Ridge Apartments. He was rapping, I was beatboxing. Back then, I was called Rock McGuire. So that's the history. I was a beatboxer. I was undefeated as a beatboxer. And here's a record for you. Me and Lee went to Dairy Queen right there that was by Mr. V's and by the movie theater. Man, what's the name of the Westgate Theater. So we sat down in Dairy Queen and he asked me, how many beats you think you can do? He got the piece of paper out. I did the beats. He wrote it down. I did 100 different beats as a beatbox. That was my record. Who was I like? I would say I like myself, but I could do the Dougie Fresh. I could do the human beatbox. I could do, Greg Nice, Greg, and yeah, I could do all that. I did just everything that was out at the time. Bite It and all that stuff. Some things stay with you. So I covered that. I did the first song. Oh, finally as a rapper. So for me, I wanted to do the spiritual thing. So when I looked up at what New York was doing, I was like, who is like me? I liked Keras One at the time. So he had knowledge reign supreme over nearly everyone. So I said, you know what? Let's beat that. So I became Sagel. Sagel means spiritual ambition gives everyone eternal life. That's what my name was. I was the first rapper to write a song about Miss Benton at Morris Brown, and I was the first rapper to write a song about Morris Brown. Yes, I did it probably almost a year before Outkast. A lot of people don't believe me. Masiki Scales was there. He's a witness. Don't believe me? Fine, if you think I'm lying. But that's this episode. Sorry for it being so long, but I wanted you to understand the history. And again, this episode was about why I am the hip-hop evangelist for ATL hip-hop culture.